Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode on A Better World with Adrienne. I am literally so excited to be here. I feel like it's been forever since I channeled on the podcast, and that is only because I have been in the Sedona New Earth Retreat portal. When I tell you that we bent time, we bent reality, we fit 100x into 4 days. I am not kidding. Like, it was very deliberate, it was very on purpose. And to experience it in the body and the mind and the spirit is very, very different. So I feel like I took like 6 months off the podcast and I didn't. I just went into the major portal that is, so, I mean, when you even drive into Sedona, it's like the energy, the vortexes, everything shifts. You go into another dimension. It's kind of like when you get to Hawaii and you're like, yeah, I'm in a different dimension. I'm in a different dimension right now. Literally, what? So I'm just really excited to be here. And I'm channeling this episode from I rented the most gorgeous, amazing home, and I'm looking out at the Red Rocks. I have the most amazing view. And yeah, this whole episode is going to be a recap of the Sedona retreat. It's an opportunity for you to just get behind the scenes of like, okay, what happened at the retreat? Like, I'm going to tell some stories. I'm going to tell just the magic that occurred, and for you to really kind of bottle the joy and the magnificence and the transformation. Like, obviously, you cannot create what we created unless you get your booty to a retreat. There's something that can only happen in person. So it's powerful. And yeah, I'm just really, 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 really excited about life and this mission and this work and this world. You know, there's a lot of people out here, they're like, okay, the world's going to shit. And I'm like, the world is so magical. What you focus on expands. And so when I think about the point of this whole podcast, this is my offering to the collective. And my offering this week is to just share the magic of the Sedona New Earth Retreat, what happened, what the themes were, what people created. And you can see in my background, if you're watching on YouTube, I was going to have the background of the Red Rocks for you. And I actually wanted to just look at them myself while I channel. Like, all of the best, I'm mountains environment and human design. I function best first when I'm in a higher altitude, and second when I'm overlooking and I can get a big perspective. And like, I don't even try. This is how you know you're living in alignment. I don't even try to put myself in these environments. They just kind of like happen. I mean, obviously I say yes and I book the thing and I do the thing. But like, even when I went to Michigan, and I was like leaving, I lived at 6,000 feet on Maui, and I used to hike Haleakala at 10,000 feet every single weekend. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving the mountains. And then I get there and like my room has like overlooking of the whole woods behind the house. It's like the same energy, just a different frequency of it. So I just get the most expansive ideas and perspectives when I have perspective of Mother Earth. And so you can see the reflection in the background if you're watching on YouTube. Um, I'm really excited. So before I get into this episode fully, I do want to share two big announcements. First of all, I have officially decided, the next New Earth activation retreat is in the books. Okay. People from Sedona have already booked their spots. There's only 11 spots left as of now. I have a really strong feeling it's going to sell out in May. I think a lot of people didn't come to Sedona that wanted to, and they like watched all the magic of Sedona and they're like, I'm not missing that. And spoiler alert, after you listen to this episode, you'll be like, I'm definitely going to the next one. So the next one is going to be in Mount Shasta. It's going to be the fall equinox, September 18th to 21st. It is a cellular activation on sacred land, just like Sedona, but with a different frequency. So my retreats are on land that I get called to all around the world that has specific frequency and specific activation for you to unlock your destiny and to quantum leap. Like literally, just to give you one example, one of the people on the Sedona retreat, she had the intention, she's like, I want to discover my life's purpose on this retreat. And like, to be honest, that's a big goal. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go to a 4-day retreat and discover my life's purpose. She did it in 2 days, y'all. Why? Because I deliberately and strategically created the conditions for that. And she was open. You know, she's also been working with me for a while. Her body was open, her mind was open, her spirit was open. So it's like, I mean, the return on investment is insane. It's like, yeah, you come to a retreat, you have the most life-changing time. You spend a few $1,000s and you get your life's purpose. That's gonna like make you millions. What? In right relationship with Earth and stars and Father Sky? What? So, yeah, it's insanely powerful. If you want to come to Mount Shasta, the Mount Shasta retreat is a Lemurian Atlantis frequency. So it's a whole different frequency, September 18th through the 21st. Go to the link in the show notes right now and apply. So people are booking their deposits. Like I said, I really anticipate this filling and selling out really quickly. And it's on early bird right now. So when you book on early bird, it's only going to be early bird till mid-June. After that, I mean, it's either going to be on early bird till mid-June or till all the space is filled. I think it's going to be the second one. And then the price increases by 2K. So you definitely want to apply and book now. Also, when you book in May, you get a bonus call where we're all going to get together on Zoom before the retreat and just talk about how to prepare to really leverage the moment together. So that's the first announcement. The next New Earth retreat is in the books. People are already signing up. There's 11 spots left. You know, if one of them is yours, apply through the link in the show notes. I cannot wait to welcome you. The second announcement is I'm leading an immersion, a New Earth immersion in June called Maverick. Okay. This is a high touch daily opportunity to be mentored by me and be in a powerful group of other mystics who are completely unhooking from the matrix, creating wealth on your terms, sharing your gifts, actually walking the path of liberation, not looking for freedom outside yourself. It's perfect for you if you want to just transcend politics, transcend all of this chaos, and be the maverick that you came here to be. What is a maverick? A maverick is someone who's unbranded. It's an independent thinker. It's a thought leader. You march to the beat of your own drum. I've done that literally in every single part of my life forever. And now I'm doing it for New Earth. And it's time for you to do this too. So this is a 1-month immersion. It's an opportunity for you to go deep and get high touch coaching and mentorship with me. There's going to be breathwork, shamanism, you know, high performance, all the things. So if you are interested in Maverick for June, go to the link in the show notes and sign up. I cannot wait to welcome you. It's going to be truly incredible. I'm so excited. So without further ado, let us call upon the altar. The altar is how we say thank you in advance. Literally, this whole retreat was an altar in itself. It was a complete altar. It was a ceremony in motion. And so on the altar, I literally have the red rocks of Sedona in front of me, like huge, majestic mountains. Huge, 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 majestic mountains. Thank you, Mother Earth, for showing us perspective, for showing us what really matters, for getting us out of screens and being like, this is the truth. And the other thing I have on the altar is this carnelian crystal. Literally all of my clients are getting pregnant right now. It's kind of insane. And it's not surprising because we're doing all the deep work. They're creating the vessel and they're leveraging the divine timing. And then they're just getting pregnant immediately. Like the golden children are on the other side waiting to incarnate. And if you want to get pregnant, they will incarnate immediately the moment your vessel is ready. So if you don't want to get pregnant, make sure you take necessary measures. So I got this stone actually in Sedona for fertility for all of my clients and fertility of my dreams as well. So it's a really exciting time. And I just opened a whole new chapter of my work and my vision, and you get to come along with, like, we just opened this chapter with the Sedona retreat. So it's a fresh energy, and it's all about fertility and healing your creativity. So that is on the altar, and we're gonna put our heads and hearts and minds together through life force energy, the final piece on the altar. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. Feel the divine white light protecting you, guiding you, loving you, showing you. Exhale out the mouth. The portal has been opened. The stage has been set for spirit. And let's begin. The other thing on the altar I forgot to say is I got this brand new necklace, and it is the sister necklace of the ring I got in Sedona 3 years ago when I became White Star here. And I went to that same store, and because I was starting to get dreams about this necklace too, and I went into the store and I said, hey, there's a sister necklace here for my ring. I got this ring here back 3 years ago. And they said, oh, we know exactly the one. I saw it. It was the same one from the dream. It was a little bit, I have really good taste. I'm not going to lie. I didn't completely budget for what the investment was for the necklace. And, I just said, if I'm supposed to have it, I will have it. And it was amazing. I just, I built the vessel for it, and I followed my heart, and I manifested the resource to get the necklace the very next day for the first day of the retreat. So it was really, honestly, amazing and miraculous. Let's dive in to, so that's on the altar, this brand new, just like Cleopatra turquoise on the heart. It's all about speaking truth. It's all about being the royalty that you are from spirit. We are all royalty from spirit. We are all royalty from God's source. And it's when we forget that, when we start accepting scraps, when we start, tolerating the bullshit of the noise of the 3D world, like, recessions are optional. Chaos is optional. You can unplug from that fully. Politics, you really don't need to be playing in that darkness. And that's activating for a lot of people. However, if you want to do your part to become the light and share the light, you just cannot. You've got to relentlessly refuse to participate in that stuff. And that's what a lot of the Maverick immersion is about. It's like, it's all sunshine and rainbows and like, oh, I love life and miracles, and until you get in the crux of it and you're like, oh, this is what it means to unhook. Oh, wow. So yeah, if you want to go deep into that, join Maverick literally right now. The New Earth Retreat was so miraculous, so amazing. And it really was. This episode, by the way, is going to be super flowy, super just like, I'm totally in my feminine magic right now. Like, I'm a daddy, and maybe you resonate with this. I love daddy energy, and it's not like weird, like sexual just games. When I think of like daddy energy, it's like Father Sky, it's like Father God. It's like, yeah, I'm a daddy. I lean back, I protect, I get the check. It's like this daddy energy. It's the CEO energy, right? And I love that energy in myself. And I'm also just like, oh, I'm so in my feminine too. Like, I have the daddy on lock. My biggest thing is like being more in my feminine and being more playful, and like knowing that my sacred structure does hold the vision. And this retreat was just the embodiment of that because I really put the structures in place in advance. I got literally only the finest for my people. And then I just got to play the whole time. And the whole retreat, everybody was saying, "You were born for this. You are just so in your element." And honestly, it felt like play. It felt so natural. Like, obviously, I had a loose outline for the days, but I just let spirit work through me all day, every day into what was correct for the group and what was correct for me and what's correct from the land. And it was just so amazing, and, it brings me to tears, and so I just want you to know that if you have a vision on your heart that scares you and you're like, "Wow, I've never done this before," or, like, it's really big, it's like, "Who am I?" It's like, who are you to not do it? Like, don't you dare squander that dream. Steward the dream. The biggest sadness I see is spiritual sadness of people who have dreams inside them and they don't make them, and so doing the first retreat, it was like just this powerful example of really just creating something that didn't exist before and what can happen because of that. So, yeah, go build that dream and chase it and do it because it matters. So, I get to Sedona and I got here a couple days before the retreat started, and it was very, very like you get into Sedona and everything changes. I immediately went to my shaman Bethany's house. I've been working with her since 2018. She helped me heal. I found her when I broke up with the guy I almost married the first time. When I broke up with him the first time. Uh yeah, I definitely went back and forth on that teeter-totter for a while. Um and she helped me heal myself. I really trained and did apprenticeship with her deeply when I was becoming White Star and remembering my codes this lifetime. And so I went to her house, and just being around her is just an activation. It's like something I said to her in the retreat is like, everybody gets old, not all people become an elder. And she's an elder. She is like, and that's something for New Earth. We get to remember that ancient code of like honoring the people that walked before us and honoring everything they transmuted and they healed. That actually makes it possible for us to start where they stop. Not, she didn't stop, but there's so many things she did that I'm the benefactor of that I can implement immediately, you know? So it's really just honoring and respecting our ancestors and like and the generations before us. And it's something that I think is really lost a lot in the matrix right now in mainstream culture. So it's really, really, really important. And like the way that I share about my retreats, it's like it's not a cookie cutter yoga retreat. We're not out here on the beach drinking mimosas, doing downward dog, which no offense to downward dog. I love a good downward dog. I used to teach asana for years. But this is a deliberate land activation. It's very shamanic. It's very, very deep. It's all about New Earth vision and mission and purpose. And so I got into Sedona and I was just being activated left, right, and center. I mean, with the land, and I had a healing with Bethany, and I got into this big house, and I'm like, okay, preparing for the people to come. And my friend Jack came, and she received the retreat, but she was also capturing moments like photo, video, and she's psychic. And oh, she was on the podcast last week, by the way. Um, her and I just like activate each other, being in each other's energy. And I actually learned a lot about stewarding my energy correctly on this retreat. Because I honestly barely slept the nights when Jack and I were in the house together. Future retreats, I know it'll only be me in the house and Bethany. Because I've stayed in houses with Bethany and had not had any like things like that, but like I barely slept because we were just both being so activated the entire time. And I was like, yeah, I feel like, sleep is good if you're facilitating a retreat. So I learned a lot about that, but I was just like preparing and excited and um, you know, you know, communicating with the photographers, communicating with my chef. Literally, I found a unicorn chef that does holy habits. I'm so specific about diet, and especially in America, most food is poison. By the way, spoiler alert, I'm going to be doing another round of the Holy Habits Hive Mind in the fall in September. So keep your eyes peeled about that. If you were interested in the previous round, email me or message me on Instagram because I have a special offer for you if you book your spot now. So just planting that seed, but talking to my chef, getting all of that stuff done. And it was like, this chef was like unicorn. I found him through James Wedmore, who is a very well-known spiritual marketing coach. 444, as I said that, by the way. I love that for us. Um, and the way I found him was, by the way, like me telling this story and the behind the scenes, like I just want you, like, I want you to witness all of this and be activated into what's possible for you, the potential for you, right? So I was having issues finding a chef that I wanted because it was just very cumbersome. And it was like, oh, we don't like, because I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, low inflammation, no nightshades, no like if it's quinoa or beans, it's got to be cooked in the ancient way where you soak it overnight and pressure cook it, no sugar at all. And people are like, "What?" Well, I do coconut sugar. I'm like, that's still sugar. Like it's still technically sugar, poison, like my client, first of all, I wouldn't put that in my body literally any day of the week. Second of all, my clients are going through a shamanic, life-changing experience. The nutrition matters. If they're not clear, and I had a conversation with everybody as they're leaving the retreat, I was like, don't you dare go home and poison your body and delete all of this amazingness. I want you to keep it going. And people, I mean, the food was absolutely spectacular. He hit it out of the park. I already hired him. I'm paying him triple to come to Shasta because he's local to Sedona. Um, and it's going to be worth every penny and more. Like, I'm so excited. But I found him because I played a game with the universe, with Creator. I was having issues finding a chef because no one was at the standard that I hold. And I was like, this is a problem. I'm not finding anybody. And I said, I want a unicorn. And I made a bet with Creator. And I said, I bet you can't send me this chef in the next 15 minutes. And then I went on Instagram. The first post I saw was James Wedmore, the coach in Sedona. And I just messaged him. He has like millions and millions of followers. Like it would be very easy for him not to respond, right? I messaged him and I said, hey, been a long time podcast listener. I've done some of your courses. Love your work. Looking for a chef in Sedona for my retreat. Any good recs? And I said, I want to book them today. And he literally responded immediately. And I was on the phone with this chef within 10 minutes. And I said, shout out Creator, man. You had 5 minutes to spare on that one. And the amazing thing is just like, that's how you know it's magic, right? When it's that easy. And it's like, wow, I reached out to this person and that's the other thing is like, you got to have a chutzpah and you got to just, a lot of people, when they witness the way that I do life and like create things, this is very Maverick. If you want to learn how to do this, you've got to come to Maverick. You got to be in Maverick. By the way, if you want to do Maverick and the Shasta retreat, you can combine them for a very, very special offer in May only. So reach out to me if you want to do both. I'm like, just ask, just ask for what you want. Like, what's the worst thing that people can say? No. And people sit around all the time with manifestation and they're waiting for things to come to them. But it's like, go listen to my podcast episode where I talk about my favorite spiritual sports to play and win. Okay. Um, we, a lot of people wait for God to throw the first make the first move. God doesn't need you. You are cut from God. And God is literally watching all of us being like, who's going to play with me? Who's going to play catch? Who's going to play big and full out? You've got to go first. And then God's like, oh, yeah, I want to play with them. And then God tosses you more magic than you could ever think possible. Okay, so just one example of this. When I was starting my first company, Mindful Music, I was a and this was a really important thing. I was working and I had clients north of Chicago, very, very wealthy clients. Like taught on, I mean, I say Michael Jordan's block, but like they don't really have blocks up there. It's not like the actual city. Um, but very, very wealthy clients. And I had a wealthy client who had an amazing home. And, at the time I was making $30 an hour to travel to go to people's homes for one-on-one in-person work. It's like, we all start somewhere. Um, but I remember I wanted photos for my website with a really nice piano, and his house looked like a museum, okay? I was like in my 20s, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And every time I went to that house, I was like, I'm just get richer every time I get here because you are the sum total of the people you spend the most time with. And that particular client, he was C-level at some really well-known companies. I don't know if I'm supposed to share, so I'm not going to share. But he taught me a lot about like generosity and wealth and kindness because I was raised in like, oh, rich people are this and that. And, I had that programming. So being around him and just being in that environment every week was really powerful for me. And anyways, I wanted to have a photo shoot in his house. And so I just texted him and asked. I said, "Hey, I'm having some new photos taken. I love your piano." Because he had a 40K Steinway just for some casual weekly lessons, okay? He is doing great. And I said, "Oh, would it be okay if I would love to trade some lessons because I had no money to pay him for the space." I was like, I could like trade some lessons for you. And he was like, oh yeah, totally. We'll just trade one lesson. And he helps people start companies, so he gets it. But it was like, the only reason that happened was because I had the balls to ask. The same with this recommendation for the chef. Um, and that website and those photos went on to make me hundreds of thousands of dollars because people saw the photos and they're like, this is a premium, high quality brand and experience. And then they were like wanting to get on the phone with me and wanting to hire me. You know what I'm saying? So it's another thing. It's like, just do the thing, man. Just do it. So, I mean, I'm coming back to Sedona. I have a feeling we're going to take a couple little detours here. Um, I'm in Sedona, I'm getting ready, and then we have the first day and everybody's arriving and there's jitters and there's excitement and we get here and so the first day was all about just like anchoring in and rooting in the soul pad that came. We had people from all over, we had people from all ages. This first retreat was all women. However, like I know that my future retreats are going to have women and men because like my client, I used to work with all women and now it's kind of like half women and half men, which I love. It's been really, really powerful for me to see. And it's like every single client that I have that's a woman and she's like, there's no good men out there. I'm like, interesting. I just taught a full breathwork class of only men who want to heal and find their soulmate. It just really shatters a lot of limiting beliefs. But we were grounding and we started with cacao and sat under this amazing magical healing tree at the Airbnb. So Airbnb was like retreat headquarters. Like people came here. It's just this insanely gorgeous, beautiful A-frame mansion. And we sat under this tree and everybody was sharing their intentions. Why did you come to Sedona? Like, what are you hoping to get? And some of the intentions were like people are like, I feel like I'm not creative. I just want to know the truth. Like there was a lot of fertility energy in this space. And I'm going to share golden nuggets and takeaways. However, like the potency of everyone's story and their experience is deeply sacred and protected. So I'm not going to go into any details of people's experience. Like I'm going to share the power of the retreat, and there's nothing more sacred to me than someone's healing and their story. Um, and it was really, really, really powerful. It just, there was a lot of like somebody was like, I want to find my destiny. I want to know my soul purpose. And then, another, the fertility vibes and like, okay, I want to make more money using my gifts. And Bethany, my shaman, she was the facilitator and she was receiving the retreat, which she's been my client too. Like her and I, it was apprentice shaman for a long time, and I still feel that from her, and I love that. She's 80 years young, and she's gonna live to 103. I think she's gonna live to 104 now because that's what I keep getting in my oracle. But she's also a sister. Like we've become more sister and colleague. Like I'm her client and she hires me for she's my client. Like it's just really cool. So it was cool for her to receive and be a guest facilitator, but we grounded, we anchored, we did cacao, and then we did breath work. Uh, and no, no, we did the cacao ceremony, we anchored and did all of that. And then no, I think we did do breath work then. We did breath work, and it was all about opening up the body and releasing, because when everybody got here, we were under that full moon in Scorpio. And so first of all, the craziest thing happened, like full moon in Scorpio, very, very, very intense. I got here and I had a bunch of bats. Like when I come to Sedona, shamanism is really about being connected with the land. It's about being a medicine woman. It's about you're connected to the other spirit realms too, so that you get a lot of spirit animal guides. I've literally seen like so many coyotes, these javelinas, they're Sedona wild boars. I've seen countless deer, hummingbirds, ants, lizards. I had a coyote stare me in the face really close to me on the trail, which I had a vision of that like 4 months ago. Um, but it's all about this, we get animal messengers, and that's how the other realm speaks to us, okay? And so I had a bunch of bats come to me, and they actually came to me while I was channeling into Angel Air, which is my daily community for earth angels all over the globe. If you want to join us, I channel there daily, Monday through Friday. Astrology, it's like a private podcast every single day for me, and we do breath work. It's amazing. If you've never worked with me, that could be your first step. Um, but obviously, if you want to get in person, come to Mount Shasta. But I had all these bats come to me, and they were signaling the huge death and rebirth. Like there was an insane death and rebirth that happened at the Scorpio full moon. Insane. Insane. And so these bats came to me, and I did a shamanic death ritual because of that's what the message was from the bats. Like I basically had a death and a funeral. I'm not going to go in. Here's the other thing about shamanism. There's a lot of really, really sacred rituals that we don't talk about, you know. It's very sacred and private with the land and with the ancestors. And I'm not going to go into the details of it, but I had a death ceremony for my ego with the land. And Bethany helped me with it, but it was the death of the old Adrian. The old Adrian got sacrificed on the altar and sacrificed to the land. My ego and White Star was born fully. And it's amazing because I did that, and then the next morning I went and bought this necklace. And it's like, okay, full White Star. So everybody was going through a death and rebirth when they got here. And I said, with the full moon in Scorpio, we've just got to let go. This is a release of the person you were before. and you're stepping into the person that you're choosing to become here on this retreat. So we did this breath work. It was insanely powerful. It was the first breath work I did with my drum. So I got my drum the first day I was here. It was so easy. I walked into the shop and I knew exactly what store it was. It's one of the only stores here that isn't all sterilized with like tourism. Like it's an actual buffalo skin drum, handmade. And I fell in love with it. It was the second one I tried. I knew it immediately. And so this was the first breath work I ever did with a drum. And it was so powerful. And it was like, where has this been my whole life? It just felt so natural, so me. Um, and it was really, really powerful. So we did that Scorpio release, just total release. And then we had our first full moon. It was really, really, really emotional. It was under the tree on the Red Rock. Then we had our first meal with my unicorn holy habit chef, and everybody was like so impressed and like, this is like crazy. And they're like, this is all gluten-free, dairy-free, like, not vegan, because we did have organic local venison and wild caught fish and all of that, but just like extremely high standards for the nourishment, and people were blown away. And I was blown away. I wasn't surprised though, because I knew when I hired him, I was like, this is my unicorn. And he now has a lifelong client. I told him, I was like, just so you know, you're pre-hired for my wedding and like basically every other cool thing I do. So yeah, it was just amazing and nourishing. And then in the afternoon, we did we went to the river for a river cleanse. So this is one important thing that I loved that I incorporated, because when I was looking at the retreat, I take a nap every single day. I take a nap for 25 minutes every single day, because that's how I just am the best version of myself. And when I was planning this retreat, I'm like, I can't not nap. So every day after lunch, we had siesta. So we would have, because we had one big meal together during the middle of the day. It's very Ayurvedic. Like we don't, especially in, a lot of people are like eating their biggest meals at night, which it works for some people. But when you think about how the body processes food and everything, it's like having the biggest meal in the middle of the day gives you time to process, digest, not having a huge meal right before bed when you want your mitochondria like cleaning your body all night and resetting and rejuvenating. So it was amazing. We did siesta every single day for an hour. And that's another reason why I wanted this big house, is because I wanted just room for people to spread out and be in siesta. So I went and took a 25-minute nap, and then we would just regroup an hour later. And so we went to the sacred river for a river cleanse. So the first day was all about cleanse and release. And so we went to the river, and I did a special cleansing ceremony with every single person. I said their full name. I said, what's your first, middle, and last name? And I dunked them into the sacred river. And this river is like, they gave the directions on the Airbnb, and it was like very specific, strict instructions, like do not park, do not share this location, like, because what happens, and this happened on Maui a lot, but when you live somewhere super sacred, the locals, like, tourists can ruin the land. Tourists can ruin the sacred sites. So people are really protective, rightfully so, of these special areas. So we followed this like very vague like map and directions, and we found the sacred river, and we did the river cleanse, and then we're like just really having fun, we're laughing and we're like sitting like mermaids on all. It was so powerful, the red rocks just going right up to their sacred river. It was all the elements at once. It was like just so fun. We're laughing, we're splashing, we're sitting like mermaids. I'm teaching on the astrology literally the whole time. And then we came back, and it was like, okay, day one, we're complete. And it was super, super powerful. And then, I was just like integrating and excited for day two. And day two was Friday, it was Venus Day, the planet of love, beauty, art, and money. And Friday, we started, we did a hike. We went to the first vortex. We went to Bell Rock, and I had planned on doing breathwork there. However, I got guided to not do breathwork there. And what we did was we met there and we hiked into the vortex and we just did an activation on the rock. So everyone, we hiked up there. It was really, really hot. We got there early, but it was hot. And the photographer came and I just activated people, that's when I just opened my mouth and I start channeling and they connect with the land. People were getting spirit guides, ancestors, like just feeling safe and held and nourished and free. And then it was really, really powerful. I sang and I played my drum and then we just sat in silence. And I said, we're going to keep this meditative space. We're going to drive home together in silence because we were just in silence. We came back in silence and then we went right to the river again and we did breath work at the river and we hiked the whole way in silence. And then we went into breath work and it was this shamanic liberation. And, the whole theme was Uranus Kazemi, earth-shattering change, the last Uranus Kazemi, the planet of shock, upheaval, change, revolution in the sign of Mother Earth, like earth-shattering change in the cells of your body. What revolution are you here to lead? Like permanent, lasting change, because eclipses are unstable change. So it was immense. And then after that, we played in the river. I'm not going to share people's I just sat there and watched people liberate themselves, shaking and screaming and breathing on the earth right by the river. It was crazy. And what somebody was like, I'm complete. I trust myself. It's like, you want to know the key to life? You want to know the hack to life? Self-trust. So powerful. I had so many synchronistic moments with everybody the whole time. It was really powerful. And then we came for lunch, we had our siesta, and then we had a session with Bethany guest facilitating where she taught on right relationship with the land. She taught on right relationship with the land. She taught on shamanism, just spirituality. And we did a meditation where we were being introduced to our spirit guides and our angels. And everybody had a spirit guide and an angel come through, which was really, really powerful. It was interesting. My papa came through, and that's my mom's dad. And he apparently is going to help me find my husband, which is really cool. He died when I was 3 years old. So I vaguely remember him. I don't remember him a ton, but everybody got to meet. It was important to be with Bethany with right relationship with the land because not everybody understands what that means. And especially she's been coming to Sedona. She lives in Sedona now, but she's been coming to Sedona and she's been a shaman for, I don't know, 40 years. So she knows what's up, and to have her ancient, the age range in the retreat was I'm 33. There was people around 30. There was mid 30s. There was 60, and then Bethany's 80. It was just such a huge range, and everybody was learning from each other. Everybody had special codes, but it was so cool. Everybody got to meet angels, spirit guide. My spirit guide Kayla came through. She's a big old tiger, and she's very specific about the spelling of her name. Her name is Kaela. And she told me to keep earning my stripes, and it was just really powerful. And then I'm trying to remember what else came through. There was something else, but I don't think I'm meant to share it because I can't remember it right now. And that was the second day. So everybody was just getting opened, and it was wow, we're meeting spirit guides, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then the third day, there was a really big shift in that it was Oh, we did breath work again the second we did at the river. I already told you that. So then we had lunch. We did siesta. We had our session with Bethany. The third day, Saturday, which was the Uranus Cazimi in Taurus, we met for we went on a hike to a vortex where we were balancing the masculine and feminine energies. And Friday or Saturday was when everybody kind of, it was like the energy shifted and everybody was so open. Like basically, I did all of the opening of the nervous system and the reset of the nervous system so that the downloads could drop in and integrate, like really like leveraging this Uranus Cazimi. And so we hiked into the vortex. We did this activation with our third eye together on the red rock. It was deeply, deeply powerful. And then we came back to the house and I did a session like the whole time I'm teaching on astrology. I know everybody's charts. I'm like, oh, this is hitting you this way. This is hitting you that way. We had a lot of Gemini energy at the retreat. We had a lot of Virgo energy at the retreat. It was very, very Mercury driven, which was cool. And then we sat down and we did something really, really important, which is something that I'm really proud of and excited to offer. Like, what makes me a unicorn mentor is I'm all the woo and I'm also a high performance coach. Like, I've been coaching people in high performance for 15 years now. So that's why my clients take off because I can coach you in how to make your visions real. Like your oracle is amazing and wonderful, but it doesn't mean jack if you're not building it, right? And so I did a session where I was like, the biggest thing, like, I want you to walk away from this retreat with tangible steps. You've had all these downloads, you've had all these insights, you've had this healing, you've had these ahas. What are you going to do with it? Because a lot of people do retreats or have peak experiences and then they go home and they go right back to the old way. And I said, no, we are not doing that. This is different. This is different. Okay. And so I basically set the stage for like, this is a new earth high performance coaching session. I want you to share what is going on with you. What have you learned in the past few days? What are your next steps? And like, let me coach you on, like, lean into me, ask me questions, let me coach you and mentor you on how to birth your vision, you know? And so the topics that came through were really, really powerful. There was one person on the retreat, just she totally quantum leaped her health. Like she went off medicines for the first time in years and years and years and years. And it was like she was able to do it suddenly because she had been doing the deep, 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 deep work in her nervous system. And she felt safe. And she did it with the land and she did it with the astrology. It's like I believe in this work so much because I see it work before my eyes literally all day, every day. And this retreat was just a whole nother level of it. So there was the conversation in that, like a lot of it had to do with trusting people, trusting themselves. Okay, what are my next steps for? Okay, you discovered your destiny path. Now, what are you going to do in the next 90 days for it? What are you going to do in the next 6 months? What are the non negotiables? What are the needle moving tasks? Okay. To me, a needle mover is it's got to move cash flow and it's got to move heart flow. It's like it's got to light your soul on fire and create cash. I mean, if you're a business owner, obviously, but like it's got to be nourishing in all the ways and abundant in all the ways. Not all of my clients have their own business. However, a lot of them do. It's interesting because I've had a new wave of clients that they're like breaking the matrix from the inside. They're like undercover ninjas, like in the system, like changing the system from the inside out. And I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And to give them astrology and just like help them access a more potent power is just a gift. But yeah, we did a lot. A big topic that came up was money. And one of the things I said, I was like, yo, there's no liberation without money. And I said something extreme. I said, New Earth needs fuck you money. I believe in fuck you money. I believe in having enough resource that you just can walk away from anything that's not correct for you. Like, it's important. A lot of people, especially women, I mean men too, but it's like they accept scraps because that's what the matrix has programmed them is okay. And then it's like you should be grateful for these scraps. And it's like, no, that's called darkness. That's called oppression. That's not the light of the creator. We're all here to be limitless, lavish abundance, but it really takes you can't ask for more and shrink for less. So a lot of people ask for wealth and abundance, and it's like while they're gripping onto the old way, and it's like you've got to be willing to let go of the small for the aligned divine massive. And so we talked a lot about money. We talked about a lot about monetizing your gifts and self-trust and creativity. One of the themes of the retreat was like creativity. And I looked at this person at one point, I'm like, your smile's creativity, your laugh's creativity. Like, and it's like dropping this perfectionist because we had so much Virgo energy in the retreat. And it was like, it's just so powerful. And I loved that session because it really made it practical and tangible for people. And they walked away from the retreat like, yes, this is my next step. I know exactly what to do. I trust myself. I'm healed. I'm connected to the land. And and then we had a beautiful, beautiful lunch again from the Unicorn Holy Habit chef. And then we had a energy clearing healing with Bethany, which was insanely powerful that everyone needed. And then it was like clockwork. It was like I said, I feel like the integration truck hit all of us at the same time because everybody loved the river so much. I was like, oh, we can go back to the river after our healing with Bethany. And it was like the healing was over and everybody was just like delirious, but in a good way. Like literally what just happened. And I just looked at everybody and I was like, yeah, we're not going to the river. I was like, we're going to cut out early today. Which that's the other thing is like a retreat is a rest portal, right? So it was cool to just let it flow that way. And people went and rested and people went and integrated. And then our final day together was so amazing. Something that I love doing that again sets my experiences apart. I've done this in one-on-one VIP days with clients, and I'm doing it in all my retreats is like adventure and a cellular DNA activation and physical representation of your new chapter. Like there's something amazing that happens when you move your physical body with joy and play and adventure and delight into your new chapter. So I surprised everybody and I took everybody in helicopters. And I was like, we are literally going, this is why I love flying so much, by the way. I was like, we're literally going to leave Earth. We're going to get closer to the stars and we're going to take flight into your next chapter. Can I get a hell yes? And everybody was like, we're going in helicopters. This is amazing. I'm not going to lie. Some people got seasick or seasick. So I almost said car sick, but motion sickness is what I'm looking for. Some people got motion sickness and we were hitting some turbulence, and I'm definitely the person that like I get excited when I hit turbulence. I'm like, oh, this is adventure, this is exciting, and other people are like, I could do without the turbulence, but I'm like over the intercom and I'm like, what are you gonna do when you hit turbulence in your dreams? Like, are you just gonna quit or are you gonna keep going? And the pilot, it was interesting because I don't know if he had ever had like a client or like group like us. I got into everybody loaded before, and I was in the front because I wasn't going to have the same experience and view as everyone else. And obviously, it's about them, not me. And so I got in and I immediately asked the pilot, I said, what's your sign? And he's like, everybody already asked me that. He was Gemini, though, too. And I was like, of course, most people on this retreat are Gemini. Um, but it was so fun. And I asked it was just so fun. And it was like, yeah, life gets to be this good. Life gets to be this amazing. You get to have joy and play and adventure and delight as you literally take flight into your next iteration of your destiny. And I asked, and we got to go in the vortexes and the helicopters and see some of the ancient sites and ruins. And it was just really fun and really powerful. And I asked one of the people afterwards, I was like, so like, what did that teach you about your destiny path. And she was just like, the sky's the limit. And I was like, absolutely. It was just so fun and amazing. And then we took a break and we came back later for our final ceremony and at the house before the celebration dinner. And it was like, I do this thing called love bomb, or like, no, not love bomb. Love bomb is like something that is negative that happens in dating. I don't really participate in all the, people use the word narcissist a lot. I'm like, why are we even talking about this? Like, it's not relevant. I do it's called a love rampage. I got it from Abraham Hicks, actually, that I guess like definition for it, but I did a love rampage for every single person and just celebrating like, hey, who were you when you got here? Who are you now? And just like seeing them in their power and their greatness and the love that they bring and the joy that they bring and the power. And it's just like I got to do a love rampage. I just like, and it was really a big I think edge for people in terms of being seen and receiving, because it was like the spotlight's on you and I'm just like throwing mad codes and mad just like love and the nectar of life and just showering him. And then people were chiming in like, I see this in you. I see this in you. And it was so powerful. And we were all dressed up. We looked amazing. And we're all crying and it's just this soul pad. We're always going to be connected. And obviously every single retreat I do is going to be special. However, the first one I ever did, like I will never forget, like it's just such a specific frequency and essence. I get emotional just thinking about it now, but they're family. We're family. And something we talked about all weekend, and as you're listening, I hope this really hits for you too. Like we're positioned around the globe and we're apart from each other for a reason. God has us positioned on the planet away from one another for a reason. We're each supposed to anchor the light in our unique way in our communities and influence people that are in the Maya, that are in the Matrix. Like a lot of people feel like they don't have community or have a tribe, or they feel lonely in their path in their day-to-day life. And it's like, well, that's why we have all the Zoom and everything. Like you can get in my world right now and have a whole new Earth family. However, like we're positioned apart on purpose in divine decree. God has positioned us. It's not a setback, it's a setup. Nothing is a setback, it's a setup. God set you up. Are you coming to the plate? Are you swinging? That's the thing. And that's why these in-person activations and retreats are so important, because we've got to get in person to be activated with our soul family, with our New Earth family. New Earth is not the spiritual community. New Earth is not the coaching industry. New Earth is a specific soul pad of people who are the ambitious mystic, which I've just discovered how unique and rare that is. I worked with a lot of ambitious people. I worked with a lot of mystics. I haven't worked with that many, like to become my client, you've got to be both. And I've gotten a lot more like zeroed in on who, first of all, will create an amazing transformation for me, but the people that I want to work with, because I'm not settling in terms of it's got to be that new earth frequency. So your people are out there. You just got to prioritize getting in these experiences. And if you feel like this isn't like, if you're like, why isn't this in my daily life? It's not supposed to be. We're out here on divine assignment doing our own thing in our own parts of the world. And then we got to prioritize coming together to be activated and grow together. So we had our celebration dinner, and then it was like the goodbyes and the pictures, and people were making videos, sharing their experience. And it was just so nourishing and free. And it was such an honor to steward. And we created, like everybody kept saying, I feel like I've been here for like 6 months. It's like, yeah, I mean, that was deliberate, that was strategic. Like, you know every marketing email I'm sending, I'm like, it's a deliberate quantum leap, we're bending time. And it's like a lot of people say things like that. Rare is the soul who actually you know does that. We did that. And that's why I feel like at the beginning of this podcast, I even feel like I'm bending time as I record. But I said, I feel like I took a month off the podcast. I didn't. All I did was do the retreat and we bent time. Like everything is different now. Everything is different. I'm cellularly different. Every single person in this retreat is cellularly different. Their lives are changed forever for the better and for a better world, you know. So I'm excited that I channeled this episode. I hope this gave you a little window into the magic of the retreat and just like even hearing my voice and my energy of like it is different. Everything's different in the most amazing way. And you get to be part of it. And you are like, if you're listening to this, you are in the soul pad with me and all of these people in my community. Like we are in this together and we go further together. So yeah, I would love to hear from you. Like, what was your favorite part hearing about the retreat? There's literally so many stories, so many synchronicities, so many miracles I could never fit into a podcast. That's why you've got to come to Mount Shasta. If you're listening to this, you're like, yeah, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do adventure. Oh, I want to do breath work. Oh, I want to do shamanic healing. Oh my God, I want to be around my people. Oh my God, oh my God. You've got to come to Shasta. Make it happen. That's the other thing that I really acknowledged everyone for when they got here. I was like, anybody can hop on a Zoom call. It takes someone who's really, really committed to their path to get a flight, get accommodations, change their daily schedule, move their physical body. Like it takes a very committed soul. And because of that, like your transformation is going to be immense because of what the effort you put into even getting here, let alone what you did in the retreat. So yeah, it was so amazing and powerful. And I literally am so excited for Mount Shasta. So if you want to come to Shasta, apply through the link in the show notes. If you want to join Maverick and learn how I do all this stuff and do your version of it to unhook from the matrix, um, join Maverick. People are like, you you took a bunch of people on helicopters and you got paid? That's your job? I'm like, yeah, it rocks. And they're like, what's your business plan? And I'm like, God. Like obviously I have some strategy, but pretty much creator just hold it down if I do my part. Um, yeah. I'm so glad I channeled this episode and come to Shasta, join Maverick. If you want to do both, reach out to me. We'll get you in the loop. And I have one spot open for long-term, high-touch luxury mentorship. So this is if you want to work with me for a year. This is for the unicorn. This is if you want to do one-on work with me all around the world. This is if you want me, like literally we're ride or die. I'm in your daily life for a year. If that's you, the link to apply for that will be in the show notes. All right. That is this podcast. I love you so much. I believe in you. I believe in a better world. Go out there, make a stranger smile because it charges the whole field. You have no idea what people are going through. Be the change, be the light, be the real you. Join, sign up for Mount Shasta. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.